Welcome to our regular council meeting. Whoever stole Mayor Pro Tem's pen, can you please return it, please? Anybody here? No, okay.
I lost all my pins.
All right. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we can all please remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders and military members, please. Thank you. May be seated. Roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Opal.
Present.
Councilmember Wallace.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Present.
Mayor Moran.
Present.
For the record, Councilmember Roth is not in attendance.
At this time, I will hand it over to Mark for closed session announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council met in closed session to discuss a portion of 7 item listed on this evening's closed session agenda. I would like to note for the record that Councilmember Roth participated remotely under the Just Cause exception. He joined at 6:11 p.m. and left at 7:00 p.m. Mayor Pro Tem Samra joined at 6:54 p.m. That concludes my report at this time. The City Council will reconvene in a closed session after the open session component of tonight's meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Council, are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, moving forward. Next item, we have citizen comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the City Council on any item not on the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the City Council this evening. Is there any citizen comments on the phone? Anyone on the phone? 708? Hearing none, coming back into the chamber. Is there any citizen comments in the chamber? Good evening. If you can please state your name for the record.
Good evening. You want me to do it again? And that is due to, or that is going to be credited to us renegotiating third-party contracts.
Well, can you?
Oh, go
Sure.
again?
Yeah, the way it's.
All right, well, if it wasn't good the first time, I'll make it better the second
full
time.
3 minutes now.
Yep, thank you. Mayor Moran, council members, Jose Antonio and team here in Livingston, Nathan Alonso, your local government affairs contact at PG&E, wanted to come before you this evening to go over the subject of an email that I sent you late at the end of last year, which was that for the 4th time in 2 years, PG&E is reducing residential customer bills. This savings is based on some cost recoveries that have now been fully collected from 2022 when we rebuilt the grid after 11 atmospheric rivers, and other wildfire hardening and undergrounding efforts that have now been fully collected. but this is also symptomatic of us wanting to bring overall customer bills down. Customers should see between a 3 and 5% savings over the course of the next several months. We will be renegotiating third-party contracts. We will be looking to right-size organization and look at different ways in which we can continue to provide meaningful savings to customers. Affordability is something that we hear a lot about, and that is top of mind along with safety for us. So I look forward to coming back, hopefully getting on an agenda later on this year to give a comprehensive presentation on some of the public works and infrastructure work that we have happening here in Livingston, because we do have projects underway here in the city, collaborating very closely with the administration, the team here. But yeah, would love to come back and give you some more details on that, and then also talk about rates. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, please.
As long as it's not hard, Mr. Shamrock.
I want to be very nice to you today. I know I wasn't that nice to you last time, but.
No, I love it. I love it.
No,
It's
okay. First of all, thank you for the update of 3 to 5% reduction overall. I'm sure the consumers and your customers would appreciate that. The other question is this, and I haven't seen everything yet, is this a total reduction? Or is it a reduction in generation, but the transportation of it, the delivery is going up in price? Or is it, will the customers see the overall 3 to 5% total reduction, or is that being offset by increase somewhere else?
No, it's overall.
And if you're a solar user, there's no changes in buybacks or something like that, where they not going to see that? Well, everybody, regardless of being a regular customer or a solar customer, do you anticipate most will see, if not all of them, then based on same usage?
Yeah, so depending on what your use is, because solar customers still do end up using, because you're only producing 12 hours out of the day. Everybody who's using will see 3 and 5% decrease based off of what they're using.
Yeah, so basically I'm just looking at per kilowatt hour or whatever, you know, that's the better way to.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so if somebody was using 10 kilowatts last year, summertime, it doesn't matter when, and when these new rates kick in, they still use 10 kilowatts, they will actually see the 3 to 5% reduction, right? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always nice. That's quite all right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Just to clarify, the timer was not for Mayor Pro Tem. I just said, like, just to clarify that the timer that sounded was not for you.
I understand. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Is there any additional citizen comments in the chamber?
Good evening, Council. Hope I don't go over 3 minutes, since I'm going to have an update on the sister city, your fifth or fourth or fifth sister city from Livingston. So actually, if the mayor remembers, I was invited to Yingtang, our sister city from 2014, which we had forgotten we had a sister city out there. So I know that we have 3 sister cities in Mexico, and then Wakami, Japan, which we don't know nothing about. And so thus making Yingtang, China, the 5th sister city for Livingston. So I was invited on October 22nd. Well, it was a late invite, so I had asked the mayor if he wanted to go, or the city manager, and a couple other council members. So nobody was able to go. And so I ended up going with some friends from San Francisco. And of course, the city did not pay anything. I paid everything out of my pocket, so there's no say that the city paid for me. So since I was invited. But anyway, I was able to attend a 4-day conference of Sister Cities International. Some supervisor from Sacramento County was there, and actually the president of Sister City International was there too as well. So I met some friends from California there at the conference, and actually a former mayor from trying to remember, Monterey Park in Los Angeles. He was a former mayor, and I saw him there. And then he invited me when I was on the way back to Hong Kong. I spent a day there with him to just catching up. So it was a very nice conference. And from there, I attended a 2-day welcoming committee in the city of Yingtang. So I sent them. I want to thank the city manager, and also from the city, I was able to get some gifts that I took them over there. And so they were very, very thankful, and I told them that hopefully the mayor and delegation from Livingston will be able to go in the future. And also, they were hoping they can come back in the future as well and to visit Livingston as well. So hopefully, so that way they can get that a friendship as well. So, and so I spent there 2 days in Yingtang, and from there they sent me to the capital of the state, and I spent there 2 days as well. And on the way back, I spent personally 3 days in Hong Kong, and so it was a very nice tour. So obviously they do tours of factories, and they give you the tours of many different communities that they have there. So so they were very thankful, and I was thankful as well. So I have some pictures in case anybody wants to see, but other than that, I just want to give you guys an update. So hopefully they come, or the city, they will like to welcome you guys back over there too. So, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any additional citizen comments in the chamber? Seeing none, closing the citizen comments at 7:17. Next, we have County Supervisor announcements and reports. Supervisor Jim Pacheco, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. A couple of things. We had our AMR transition from Simpson Briggs to American Medical Response on New Year's Eve. It all went well. They actually got a little busier than they anticipated, but they were able to handle it. So it's been going well so far. We're planning to have a couple of community meetings here on the east side, west side. It's just they're kind of like meet and greets to have the community come out and meet the new ambulances and just if they have any questions. AMR actually bought 17 brand new ambulances to put here in Merced County, all high tech. So we want to make sure that everybody will come out and hopefully take a look at these and know that they're in good hands. It's been a good transition. We've been stepping up enforcement. The county's been stepping up enforcement of the illegal food vendors here in Merced County. We've had various sweeps throughout. They've confiscated some equipment and actually handed out some violations. They're doing that. They actually got some tainted food too that they were able to get off the street. And we're doing this to hopefully make sure that not only that this county residents get educated on the illegal food vendors, but also that everybody that's wanting to do that type of business will do it the right way and go through the county and get the permits that they need. Along those lines too, we've had a problem with illegal dumping in the county areas. So we've changed our penalties with the county. We went from $500 to $2,500, and on various violations, depending on how many, up to $10,000. And we actually put it in on a second violation. If you're caught with a vehicle, they can actually impound your vehicle if they're doing that. We're looking at some strategies on enforcement because you can have all the harsh penalties, but if nobody's getting caught, then it really doesn't deter people. So we're working on some strategies for enforcement, maybe using some cameras or some stings. I know there's some not up above board trash haulers. Sometimes will come and pick up your trash, you pay them, and then they go dump it. So we're trying to make sure that those type of people are taken or punished if that's what they're doing. We met with the high-speed rail. They've come, did their presentation at the board. There's an idea to maybe move the station that was originally going to be in downtown Merced, maybe move it out into the county area, kind of towards the Mission Parkway. Again, right now, that's just in the discussion stage. They're hoping that this will bring down the price and lessen the impact on the city of Merced with construction. So, but again, just in the very preliminary discussion stages at this point, but just so everybody knows how that's going. I attended the Measure V Regional Project meeting. There's a couple of projects that are going to be beneficial to Livingston. Hopefully get approved. I think there'll be some details later on the agenda, but very excited about that for Livingston. And this Friday, I attended the Livingston Pentecost Crab Feed. It was a great event, very well attended, a very good dinner. So I want to congratulate them on a wonderful event. Hopefully they keep doing that. And then yesterday, I attended the MLK March in Merced. It was great to have the community come out and celebrate celebrate the sacrifices and all the accomplishments of Dr. Martin Luther King that still hold true today. And that's all I have as far as reports. Our next board meeting is February 2nd. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to discuss with me?
Just quick question. I haven't finished watching the supervisors meeting, and normally it's very helpful to kind of stay updated on some of the conversations. In regards to the illegal dumping, and I think it's good that, we're trying to be more proactive. Is there certain areas of the county where, like, you guys are seeing more of this illegal dumping to where your public works people are more busy around?
Unfortunately, no. It's a countywide problem.
Just
I mean,
all
east
over.
side, west side. I live in the Grand area. I think, obviously, they mostly focus on places that are not well-traveled. There was actually one of the farmers that came and said that if you have an orchard, they'll go into the orchard so they can't be seen, obviously, and they're dumping in the orchards. So we just ask everybody to be vigilant. If you see somebody that, usually you can kind of tell they're driving down the road and they're driving slow or they're having a trailer. So, if you see somebody you think that's going to happen, just get a good vehicle description. If you can get a license plate, that would be good. But yeah, it's become a countywide problem, and that's why we're trying to address it. Again, we're upping the penalties, but we need to make sure that our enforcement is hitting that mark too, and we're actually catching the people that are doing it.
Has there been any, as part of the conversation, ways of trying to be more preventive, whether it is by providing, I know that there's, throughout the whole year, the county is at different sites, San Anela and Delhi and Hillmar, with certain days, maybe adding a couple extra days a year to those specific areas, or maybe, I don't know, because probably at the end of the day, there's going to be more investment in funds with enforcement and overtime and more personnel, and then if we could be more,
Yeah, and that's makes sense, and I have discussed that. Unfortunately, I think these days it's more of a people problem. People just we have various cleanup days throughout the year. There's a list, I think, on the website, and they've actually expanded them. And they used to be, if they have a Livingston cleanup, only Livingston people could come, but they've actually relaxed that. If you want to come from another community, as long as you come and pay your I think it's like $5 or $6. It's not very expensive. You can come and bring your products. And I think actually Jilton out of the west side, they actually have a bulky item day. So, we are trying to do those things to make sure it's more affordable and make sure it's easier. But unfortunately, I think it's just that's just the society these days. But we are, we're trying to explore all those avenues to make it easier to people to dump at the landfill, and to make sure that the people that are doing it illegally get caught.
Yeah, I think you mentioned about Gilton, and just a reminder to people watching at home, the city of Livingston does have, I believe, 2 opportunities for bulky items. So if anybody has, big bulky items, couches, refrigerators, all you got to do, call Gilton and set up an appointment, and they'll come and do it for free.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I guess it's also just not being informed, or the message is not getting to everyone. But people in the city of Livingston can do that twice a year.
That's great. Yeah, we want to get the word out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Supervisor Pedroso, I'm sorry,
Pacheco.
Pacheco.
That's my neighbor.
I got the letter right.
Yes, you did.
Just a quick question on the AMR, and I know that we see them, the cars there.
Yeah.
At one time, they used to have the car, one of the ambulances cars, they called them, parked in either in Livingston or between. Are they still doing that, or what?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know that they're trying to get more ambulances out there, especially in like the rural areas. I think that was the problem with that Simpson had a little problem with was because obviously it's busier in the cities. So when it came to the ambulances getting out to rural areas, sometimes was a problem there. But again, when we have our community meetings, hopefully that they're willing to answer any questions that you or the community has. And
Yeah, they used to park it over there at Collier. Rigs used to park over there until they,
Yeah.
But that's old days,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Next, we have announcements and reports, city staff announcements and reports. No, none. City manager announcements and reports.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council, there's a few items. One, you probably saw a little bit of information on this. Our we're going through the process of a Prop 218 hearing process for utility rates. So we're going to be we're convocating the utility stakeholder rate committee. So anybody who's interested in participating in that committee, it's 2 council members. There's going to be Foster Farms, the schools, the school districts have a representation there, and then also small business. But there's 3 at-large, citizen at-large. And so if you're interested, we have applications. We welcome you to apply. You get to learn a lot of great stuff. And then once all these meetings from the utility stakeholders take place, then there'll be a recommendation to council. And then at that point forward, we'll be having a series of different workshops for the community in different languages so that they can participate. And then, of course, after that, then the council will take on the whole process. In addition to that, we also have, let me see, we're working with the Merced County it's a long name, but it's basically OAS, and they are looking for participation of stakeholders and staff. And so staff has already done a portion of it, and we're getting some clarification on the stakeholder side of things. So once that's completed, I think the deadline for submission is on the 29th of this month. I was asked by a community member with regards to what grants would be, we wouldn't be eligible for if our housing element was not certified. So the first one on top would be CDBG, but then under HCD, there's the permanent local housing allocation, which we actually applied with self-help housing and got some money there. But there's the REAP program, the IGG program, or infill infrastructure grant, SB1 funding, SB2 planning grants, CalHome programs, grants, pro-housing designation funding, and a few others. But that's why the housing element certification is very important. And so there'll be a special meeting coming up. I believe it's on the 28th of this month. And so looking forward to having that meeting. And then we'll be talking a little bit about the Measure V, so I'll wait for that at that time. Thank you, Mayor.
Quick question, just real quick, now that you mentioned the Utility Rates Committee, so there's 3 positions for people at large, right?
Yes.
So once those
Are appointed.
are appointed, and then we go through the workshops, and then it will come to council, and then there'll be probably just some conversations and probably a couple of meetings. What would you estimate the time frame from now until council is able to more or less hopefully approve whatever
Yes,
council decides?
we're hoping that council can adopt everything by July 1st. So the first thing is council basically appointing those people that are going to be on the utility stakeholders, and then we'll have a series of meetings and workshops for that. I mean, meetings, because those won't be workshops. Once all that's completed, then we enter the phase of having as many workshops as necessary. And then once all the workshops and the community is really informed, then at that point, the council would then take that on. And the council in the past have always done a resolution and ordinance, so it takes longer for actual implementation, but we're hoping that we can get it all done by July. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, council. Any questions? Seeing none, next we have conflict of interest declaration. Members of the city council will declare an actual or apparent conflict of interest before discussions or decisions about any matters in which they or anyone with whom they have a close personal relationship could directly or indirectly benefit, or where such a benefit could be perceived. Council, does anybody have any conflict of interest declarations at this time? Seeing none, moving forward, consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote, unless separate action is requested by a member of the public, the city manager, or city council member. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless members of the public, city council, or city manager request that specific items be removed. Public comment on consent agenda items should be limited to 3 minutes per person, regardless of the number of items contained within the consent agenda. So within the consent agenda, we have items 1 through 6. Are there, council, are there any questions, comments on any of those items? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
couple quick comments. First off, as it relates to item 3, would like to thank city manager, our HR team, as well as our fire consultants, both Ms. Stephanie Dietz and Chief Derek Parker, for bringing that to us. I know that's an exciting development as it relates to the creation of our own city fire department. And then as it relates to item 4, we had some discussion when we had this item last time around about who specifically would be appointed and how we navigate that process. Council, I know within the language of this item, it's included that we can always do that by resolution as decided after this goes to a ballot, and if the voters approve it, we can always pass a resolution after the fact on which specific individual would be appointed. I just wanted to flag for the council now something that we should keep in mind moving forward. We did amend a job description and a salary schedule earlier this year to ensure that somebody in-house is fulfilling a lot of these duties already, and many of those duties are reflected within that position. So just something to keep in mind if the voters approve this, if it comes back at that time. No other questions or comments.
Council, any other questions? If not, I will before I entertain a motion, is there any comments or questions, citizen comments or questions on the consent agenda? Is there anyone on the phone at 7:33? Hearing none, coming back into the chamber. Is there anyone in the chamber with questions? Seeing none, closing the citizen comments at 7:33. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the consent calendar.
So we have a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem Samra. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wallace. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Opal,
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
Yes.
Mayor Moran.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we have discussion and potential action items. Item number 7, resolution 1, approving the revised Measure V regional project changes. 2, authorizing the city to apply a 10% leverage funds to the North Main Street rehabilitation in Main and Davis Street traffic signal reconfiguration, funding applications. And 3, authorizing staff to submit the revised application to MCAG for programming. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll take it. Yes, Mr. Mayor and council and public. So first of all, I want to thank MCAG, Stacy and Nav and your team for meeting with us in several occasions, and also for being very helpful in terms of looking for different options for the municipality moving forward. So in addition to that, we actually met at one of the East Side Measure V regional meetings, and staff presented along with Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Gopal was there, and we also thank Supervisor Pacheco for supporting this project. So I'm happy to announce that the projects were accepted, and one of them is the North Main or Livingston Cressy and Davis signalization and rehab, and the North Main rehab. But there was a caveat as this got approved. They wanted our city to look at putting some skin in the game for these particular projects, and so they requested a 10% match from the city side. And so there's a number of different projects that, different funding. We can certainly use Measure V funding, but we also have the regional transportation funds that we can use. We also have the road maintenance and road rehabilitation funds that we can use, the SB1 funding we can use, and maybe I'm missing one other. But again, these are projects that are a little further down the road. So 10%, I believe, for the total is about $378,000, if I remember correctly. So staff would basically work towards looking for funding that gives us the best opportunity to leverage funding and have more flexibility in using funding. So I'll give you an example. We might not want to use our Measure V funds, given that there might be some projects in this time frame that Measure V funds might be more appropriate for. And so we would look at either combining some of the other funding or use one specific funding. But $378,000 is something that we should be able to achieve, either a combination of these different funds or a standalone fund.
Council, are there any questions at this time? Comments?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I
Yes,
just
go
wanted to, because first of all, again, like just echoing what City Manager said, I do want to thank MCAG, Stacy, and Nav and staff. Wonderful resource. It gave me every bit of information we can possibly ask and then some. And of course, Supervisor Pacheco, I got it right this time, okay? I want to thank you for support. I know that for a little while, it looks like it wasn't going to get, but then with your suggestions to have the skin in the game and some others, we were able to get over the threshold to get moving forward to the entire board. So I do want to thank you for that. And that's the why also, Council, that they did want us to put some money in it as well, is the reason we have this. So I hope that we can move this forward. And Mr. Mayor, we do have NAF for MCAG. If anybody has any questions for him, I asked him to be here in case of a question. Do you want him to make a comment? Let him.
Probably not, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I would really appreciate it if you provide some additional information from your perspective and opinions,
Yeah.
ideas, as long as they're positive.
The other fund that just came to mind right now is the local transportation fund, so the LT.
LTF.
yeah,
I was
LTF.
actually going to mention that right now. So I think Paul, Mayor Pro Samra and City Manager Ramirez are kind of being gracious, but there was an actual discussion about, is this really a regional road, right? I think your staff and representative did a good job of representing the city and, battling for the funds along with Supervisor Pacheco and getting those funds allocated. 10%, I think, is about $405,000 because it's $22,000 that you have to put for the light, stick in the light system also.
right, yeah.
But a 10% to get $3.7 million, $3.3 million in change, I think it's worth it for the city of Livingston. So, any questions?
Council, any questions?
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
just a couple quick comments. First off, I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, as well as Ms. Pacheco, folks from MCAG, for fighting for this money and bringing it back to the city. Now, as it relates to this 10%, I'm glad that we have a handful of funds that we can leverage to make this happen. Just want to make sure that we're very deliberate about that planning as a council moving forward. There's a chance that when this money is actually spent, you never know what's going to happen, whether that's with elections or life, other opportunities may come up. None of us on the dais that are up here right now may be here when these funds are expended, and it's very important that we properly budget and draw those lines to make sure that we have this money at that time and don't kick the can down the road with nobody left with options to recoup those funds. Another thing I wanted to mention as it relates to this, I can't speak for the folks that shared concerns, but just related to concerns that I've heard over the last year, I can imagine that the governing board or maybe some other folks on the technical committee may be a little concerned with the city being forced to buy in, given that we haven't expended a lot of our money that's already been budgeted. I know that was covered during our last presentation. There's at least one project listed on there where we're all aware of the fact that a work order was actually stopped from moving forward when work was being done. But I do think we should keep that in mind as we move into our strategic priority setting session of making sure that we're active about spending the money that we've already been allocated and are showing the fruit of the money we get from the Measure V tax.
One other comment that I would like to make, Mr. Mayor, is if you look at what other municipalities have been able to, in terms of acquiring funds, City of Livingston has actually, for its size, has been very successful in getting a bigger share. And so I want to thank, staff for all the hard work over the years to be in that position.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
just to show, a few meetings ago, we approved some projects along Wind Parkway and others. I'm sorry, not Wind Parkway, along Carillon Park and all those projects we were working, they were all approved. Those were the CDBG money that we used. So those were approved at the last board meeting. So we did get those all approved, and we just got to move forward. And the entire meeting started at 9, ended at 11. City of Livingston item took about 1.5 hours. Out of the 2-hour meeting, City of Livingston was on 1.5 hours. So, but we all fought hard, and I think we're going to be good here. So I hope to have everybody's support here.
Thank you. So I do want to reiterate my appreciation for the staff at MCAG. I know that Stacy was here last time. We did have a meeting with her, I think the day before, where a presentation and a conversation was done with city staff, and then she was also here during the following day for the council meeting. And so there has been a lot of work being done behind the scenes to be able to accomplish a lot of our projects. And then obviously, I think as I was talking to someone this weekend, projects don't happen overnight. Projects normally, most of the time, I think that the average term or time that it takes for a project is normally average about 3 years. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes probably a little bit less, but it takes time, from conversations when residents are sharing their requests or concerns to by the time it's discussed by council and kind of by finance, city staff to figure out if it's doable or not. And then by the time we figure out the funding, and then by the time it gets done. So it's it takes a long time. So once again, people out in the community, if they have projects or ideas about our community, make sure you guys come forward, share them with city staff, with city council, and so we can start those conversations and trying to figure out how to get those projects done. So once again, thank you to you for being here tonight. And I know that Mayor Pro Tem made you come. He's always... Okay, all right, there you go. But thank you, we really appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, just one little correction on my comment.
Yes, go ahead.
It was not CDBG, it was CMAQ. Sorry about that. It's been a long day. Thank you.
Yeah. And so I think, did I go out for public comment yet? I think no, not yet on this item. Okay. So I think this will be a good opportunity to go out for public comment at 7:45. Is there anyone on the phone in regards to this item? Hearing none, coming back to the chamber. Anyone in the chamber, questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, closing the citizen comments at 7:45, bringing it back to the dais. Council, do you have any other questions or motions?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the resolution approving the revised Measure V regional project application changes and authorize city to apply 10% leveraging funds to North Main Street rehab and Main Street Davis signal reconfiguration.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem Samra. I'll go ahead and make a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Opal?
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
All right, thank you. Next, we have item number 8, resolution to provide direction for the type of 4th of July Festival the City Council wants held in July 2026. Jackie?
Good evening,
Welcome.
everyone. As requested, we do have a report tonight to give you to seek direction on what your preference will be for the 4th of July. And so I did put a little bit of background that for the past several decades, the city of Livingston funds and hosts the 4th of July Festival. The size of the event varies depending on funding available and whether fireworks can be obtained. So in 2023, I had secured a 3-year commitment from Pyro Spectacular for a lower level but impactful show. So the contract expired last year. However, in recently speaking with Pyro, they are able to accommodate us for a fireworks show. The show costs have increased due to the tariffs, at which they said about 10%, and staff seeks directions to pursue a contract with Pyro Spectacular. And as a reminder, 2026 is the United States of America's 250th birthday. So the festival is a 3-day event featuring a carnival food, I should say has been a 3-day event, featuring carnival food and merchandise vendors, beer garden, live entertainment, and a fireworks show on the 4th of July. City Council has the discretion to set the size and amenities of the festival. For many years, Julio Valadez and a group of volunteers would direct and manage the festival because Mr. Valadez's team can devote more time to organizing the festival than the rec department. So currently, the recreation department consists of 2 full-time employees. Given the small size of the department and large undertaking of the festival, Mr. Valadez and his team are necessary for hosting this festival. In 2025, the expense for 1-day event was $39,500, but this did not include any police department or public works overtime. So I have listed 3 options, and if you guys have 3 more to add, super open to it. We have option number 1 is being a 1-day event on the 4th of July, which would include the fireworks show, beer garden, 2 bands, and a DJ, organized and run by a volunteer group or recreation department. A 3-day event was was held in the past, either with volunteer coordination or with a paid event coordinator, or no event. So, and with that, I'll just open up for any questions, comments.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Quick question. Without going back into my files, how much, the contract for the fireworks was 28,000,
And
right?
this year, it's a little over 30,
So,
if
okay.
we
Yeah,
choose for the
yeah.
same size show.
And then eventually you would have to come back to council and for council to consider whether to move forward with like a multiple-year contract and
Right, and right now, I actually asked about that so we could go with like a 3-year contract if we decided we didn't want to have a 4th of July event. At least we would still have had, we could let them know as soon as possible, but
Yeah.
we would be able to get fireworks.
okay. All right, council, any questions?
But due to the tariffs, they're not doing multiple year,
Oh, they're not?
because the
Oh, because they
price
don't-
is not stable.
Okay, got it. So it has to be it would be just a 1-year,
And then we'd have to come back to you again next year.
got it. Okay, good to know. All right, council, any questions at this time?
Not a question for Jackie. I just wanted to thank Councilmember Upo for that post he had on one of the city not the city website, but one of the Livingston sites. He had quite a few people that gave him replies on what they thought was best. No, I don't know if he had any on phone calls, but can you elaborate on that, Mr.?
Sure, Mr. Wallace. Yet thought it would be good to get some quick feedback from the community on social media. We did have a number of folks respond on the Facebook post, had some folks reach out individually as well. From the people that provided comment, there was a strong consensus for a one-day event. There were opinions on how the city may navigate that or what specifically may be included within the event, but the most requested option was the one-day event. I will say this, after last year's 4th of July festival, I think there are a number of folks in the community who were expecting a carnival because we've always had one, and they didn't see one and did express disappointment for that. But then you also have your other folks that don't do anything so that we can save money for fire. You know what I mean? So I think in that sense, the one-day festival does make sure that we are providing something. The fireworks show has always been a big hit. And we do have our Sweet Potato Festival annually, so there is opportunity for a carnival at some point later in the year. One question I have for you, Jackie. We've had a lot of folks that have requested the show or the event to go back to Memorial Park. They said it used to be Memorial Park years past. Why does the city have to move to Max Foster's? So could we provide some clarity and insight on the reasoning to shift away from Memorial?
Sure. And that's where we started, and it's like just a good feeling of Memorial Park. It was our comfort place. It was fun, but we were also a lot smaller than the amount of people that came. We had more parking, but the biggest issue is having an area that the homes are not going to be affected by the fallout. One of the last shows that we did there, we had residents coming that said fallout was falling on my parents while we were sitting in the yard watching the show. And so what I did, and I wish I would have put it up on a screen, but I made just for your And I want to thank Chris Allen for helping me out. He actually brought me the code on how big of a space we need for our fireworks show. And we usually have between 6 and 8 inch mortars. So the minimum land for that is 20 to 40 acres that we need just to host it. Our fireworks company has asked for a 750-foot radius for safety. And if you will look, that circle is 750 feet that's on that. Now, if you consider that, we don't have room where we used to do it to begin with. The other issue is people don't realize that Memorial Park has trees that provide a full canopy. So if they're planning on sitting in the park to watch a fireworks show, they're not going to be able to see from there. They're going to have to move either out into the Alvarez Field outfield, or if the school allows us to use the property, we can go into the football field area. The other item is we already have a nightmare of congestion. I was hoping our police, there he is right there, could make comments on even the traffic and the congestion that it brings into the area. So those are our biggest reasons. I'm with a lot of people. It seems like it would be really neat to have the old-fashioned over at Memorial Park, but we've just outgrown it. And then our specs don't, allow for it. So.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Jackie is absolutely correct. There were some, almost to the end of the last time we did it out there, people actually brought empty shells. They were in their backyards. So, and then also, sometimes there's another event that's just across the street, so it just becomes...
Right, and I actually wrote on that paper, you guys are floating around some of the, some other comments as to issues with it, and the Festa was one.
Yeah, the Festa, they always have that, and so between that and everything, there's just no room anymore.
Jackie, just quick question. You mentioned in the report that the event, the event costs from the recreation perspective was 39,000. But you also mentioned that included, which is what, just one day? And it did not include the overtime or the, from PD or Public Works. Do you have those rough numbers, what the cost for PD was and Public Works?
You know, I don't have it for the one-day show, but I
Okay.
do have it for the three-day show
Okay,
on the cost. So Public Works overtime for a three-day show was $5,107. And then the PD overtime for that same 3 days was $15,247.
so roughly about 7,000, more or less.
It's $20,000.
Yeah. So 6,500, more or less, average. I mean, it's not exactly, because different days have different overtimes, you know, probably Friday is, you know, and so on. But, or day one, is not as intensive or for PD. Probably second and third day are pretty intense. But anyways, so just so that we could have a good idea. So it would be roughly about 39 plus about 3,000 extra for the, let's say 5,000 extra for just compared to the cost last year.
OT.
44 plus another 7, so probably 50-ish for the one day, more or less.
About 50.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Council, any other questions at this time?
Yeah, Mr. Moran. Oh, so Mr. Wallace, go ahead.
Thank you. Jackie, what was the actual amount of money the city made on the one day last year? Do you have
It was-
known? We didn't make any, we lost? I don't remember. I know it was discussed once before I was on council.
So we, gross revenue, we probably, and I was trying to find these and couldn't maneuver through my, I apologize for that. But if you want to come in, we will sit down and Happy can help me figure out how to run that program. But I'm going to say that between the vendors and the parking lot and a few odds and ends that we did for the carnival games, we probably brought in $5,000. So we were still at a loss even with one day. But we didn't charge entry to the event. We didn't buy fencing for the event like we normally do, and we didn't hire extra security. We only had our PD.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
quick question for Jackie. One of the considerations here is not just going to be cost, it's going to be capacity. I know we're limited in-house in terms of how much we're able to plan and coordinate, whether that's before the event or the actual day of. And so realistically, let's just say the city decides to move forward with a one-day event. How much additional capacity do you expect we'll realistically need from now until then, so that we can help potentially try to find volunteers? I know Mr. Valadez is here, who's spent a lot of time planning the event in previous years, may be able to provide some insight on what that looks like from your perspective, but definitely want to get an idea of the capacity that's needed to do this so that we can prepare for that as well.
So one day, what would be really nice is to have some help and understanding on how we can at least break even. What would it take to be able to do that so it's not a burden on the taxpayers? How we do that, I'm not really sure without doing fundraisers all year. Can you agree? But for a one-day event, I mean, we need to be working all year long in raising, you know, that $50,000 so that it's a wash. With the stuff going on with the rec, I mean, if you're asking for me, like what I can do, I will make whatever you guys decide happen. Whether I drag people in, whether we, whatever it is, if it's the one day. More than that, I just don't know how. But I would love it if somebody else did it. Truly, love it. Because you got to consider while we're doing 4th of July, I'm also already planning for the Sweet Potato Festival. And I really don't want people to start running from me when I call them and start asking for things.
Yes. All right. Any other questions at this time?
Just a comment, Mayor. I know that from last year, given all of the, this is kind of a little sidebar conversation related to the bigger, but since it was brought up last year, I thought I'd just throw it out there for a little bit of discussion. There was talk about, because there was so many illegal fireworks that were, set off last year, there was even talk about hosting folks to have, use their illegal fireworks but that's not a good idea. That this opens up a lot of liability. There's a lot of issues, and there's still illegal fireworks. But I just wanted to throw that out there, just so that folks out in the community know that we discussed it, and that we have a lot of fire professionals and public safety professionals here that can, chime in on that further. But a lot of liability. So I just wanted to throw it out there.
Okay, so at this time, I will go out. Thank you, Jackie. I want to go out for public comment real quick, see if anybody has any questions. Is there any citizen comments, questions on the phone at 8:02? Hearing none, coming back into the chamber. Any comments, questions?
You're done?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I just want to answer a quick question from you. The reason it was changed was to the Max Foster Sports Complex is because of the new buildings that were built. I answered that last time as well. I brought that up last time. So it's the new building that pushed the fireworks farther away from the high school and closer to the houses on 7th Street, and everything else that Jackie said. The 3D event, the Carnival company will not come for one day. It's not worth it for them to come for one day. But if you do bring them, the Carnival company will pay pretty much for the fireworks. They make that or more, sometimes a lot more, will make the money back for the cost of the fireworks and more. And of course, vendors and so on. So you can, with one day, you're more than likely never going to make your money back or make it a wash, because there's not a lot to that money coming in with one day. So, those are the pros and cons about 1 and 3 days. And I forgot what the other question was. But anyways, so that's all I wanted to say is just, the reason for the move, Carnival companies will not come for one day. And man, I lost my train of thought, but oh well. Do you guys have questions?
Mr. Moran, one question for Mr. Valadez. Your other comment may have been related to capacity. Just curious to know how many volunteers it's generally taken to plan something like this, how many hours leading up, like what does that commitment look like?
At one time we had maybe 5 volunteers that worked almost year-round to plan. But for the festival itself, we had a lot more people come in and help. A lot of years, it was just me and maybe one more person doing everything, but it was all year round. And during the event as well, sometimes it was just me or a couple of people helping clean in between the other days. We didn't even have Public Works help at some years. But if you wanted to do it right, and I don't know that people would volunteer, probably you just need a volunteer for each different sections of the event. For example, a vendor coordinator, entertainment, the different sections that we have. You would want at least one person in charge of that, a treasurer, whatever, someone that is going to be keeping track of everything and making sure that, all the contracts come in with plenty of time so that there's no issues with payments and stuff like that. So that's what it would take. But I think that from now until then, you'd probably want at least 5 people working on it.
Thank you. Is there any additional citizen comments? Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello, my name is Parwinder Paul. I just the city manager brought up something that a resident had mentioned, and I wanted to just clarify there. A resident was asking, they were pitching to me, what if, the city allowed residents to do their own fireworks or something in some sort of communal space like that? And the city manager mentioned there's risk and liability. So I just wanted to ask, and just put it back out there for you guys to consider. Like, if it's absolutely impossible, then obviously that is what it is. But if it's not, I think it's an interesting idea to consider. And then just from a resident's perspective, I think if it's 1 day versus 3 days, just in my opinion, I think I just remember as a kid, and for most of my friends growing up here my whole life, looking forward to the festival because of the carnival that also shows up around the 4th of July. So I would just suggest 3 days, but obviously you guys can consider the details. But really, I just wanted clarification on what the manager was talking about there.
All right, well, we certainly have some really great professionals here, so I'd like to bunt it over to CAL FIRE and so Chief's gonna go take care of what the cats.
Battalion Chief Brian Crable. I would speak to the fact of bringing illegal fireworks in.
Is the mic on? Is it?
It's
on, okay.
I'm a little too tall for this. I'll squat down for you. There we go. Bear with me, technical difficulties. I think having illegal fireworks brought by the public is an awful idea. It's going to set up the city for widespread liability problems. It's not a good idea. I would say, on top of that, it may be an opportunity for maybe the city to find the people with the illegal fireworks. We're pretty much tapped out at every 4th of July ever since I started this job 32 years ago. We're running at capacity, every reserve engine staff. So I'd like to tell the public, please do not bring your illegal fireworks out for the 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief?
Evening, Council. John Ramirez, Interim Chief of Police. So, as City Manager stated, that we did have this conversation shortly after 4th of July last year, because there was a lot of comments on Facebook and social media about, people were going to have a good show and the city might as well hire them. We did have some conversations about it. We just didn't listen, but, we came to our senses and thought that probably wouldn't be the best, in the standpoint of allowing people to break the law. The other half was the safety for the public, and then just the fire safety itself. What kind of liability would we be putting on the city to do that? And going through our insurance, it probably wouldn't be something that they would approve. So we did definitely look at that. There may be other cities that have done things like that, but again, we did have conversations about it. And then as far as the event itself, like Mr. Upal was saying, I remember, when I first started here, it was a 3-day event. Really, really good event. It was pretty big in the sense of traffic and safety. It was a little bit tough for the police to manage. However, that was the only event we did have too. So now that we have the sweet potato event, it's a lot, more of a headache logistically to do 2 events back to back. I think on the perspective of safety side, moving the event as it's getting bigger and more people coming to the complex was kind of a smart idea for traffic and just safety in general. I know that was one of the issues we used to see when we had it at Memorial Park. And then as Jackie and Julio stated, we were getting a lot of calls because the debris was falling on houses, but it was also falling on the crowd. I remember standing there several times and there'd be debris falling on the people watching. And then, of course, they have the new buildings at the high school, which had to push it further out. And then, so having it over here was one of the biggest reasons because of the open field, and then just having, as far as logistically and a traffic and safety standpoint, it's kind of the best than having it at Memorial Park. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any additional citizen comments in the chamber? Seeing none, closing the citizen comments at 8:11, bringing it back to the dais. Council,
I have one, Mr. Mayor.
yes, go ahead.
Now, if we go with the 3-day, is the carnival still available to get here? We don't even know that yet. So that means we got to make a decision tonight, and so you can work on it tomorrow. If we're not here till midnight.
You know, I think from experience having or organizing events, it takes a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of people to be involved, and like we heard already, it takes a whole year of planning and working and organizing carnival and, you know, fireworks and stuff like that, and a lot of other, the vendors, you know, just it takes a lot. And then, unfortunately, I mean, I wish we had this item earlier, like last year, you know, to at least kind of get the ball rolling to see kind of where council wanted it to be. But the reality is, it's almost the end of January. You know, it's Jackie mentioned is the 250th year anniversary. I personally, I don't like fireworks, you know. I think I have heard and talked to not only residents here in the community, but other areas, you know, about PTSD situations, and it makes it a little bit, I mean, a lot difficult for them, and not everybody has the opportunity to go somewhere far, but even wherever, almost anywhere they go, there's fireworks, and, you know, it just creates a lot of stress for those individuals and their families, you know. Last year I talked to some folks, and you know, just listening to what they were experiencing, you know, I wouldn't want to experience that for myself or anyone that I know or care about. Not that I don't care about other people, but last year really gave me a better understanding of, I mean, being in education, I know about mental health. We talk a lot about mental health with students in the community and stuff like that, but I never had the opportunity to talk to someone that experienced the 4th of July or fireworks. And that is just one event a year. I mean, they have a lot of other things that triggers their PTSD and stuff like that. But if I was the only decision maker here, I would say no fireworks. But then again, I think that some residents do want to have something. Last year was really nice. I really enjoyed it. You know, the stress level was down a lot. You know, even from the people that were there. You know, I talked to people that came from Los Baños, from Modesto, Turlock, different areas. And sometimes we do have people that want to come to a smaller community, you know, that were actually, I did ask, is like, why are you coming to Livingston, you know, versus Turlock or Modesto, which is like bigger and this, and it's like, well, this is exactly why we like it, because it's smaller. It's like you can bring your lawn chair, or you can just sit on the grass and just listen to music and just relax. It's almost like a day at the park, you know, kind of. And then besides being stressful for individuals, it's also stressful for pets. I mean, Fourth of July is the day where the animal shelter goes crazy because there's so many lost and loose pets out in the community. And that's probably only dogs, because cats are just more difficult to catch, you know. But I will be supportive personally, I would be supportive of 1 day. And then probably if we can plan ahead and think about September of 2026, so we can bring the item to the council to start that conversation and figure out what council wants to do for the following year. And, you know, that way it's not all on you guys trying to come up with something out of nothing, and it takes a lot. So I really appreciate all of the work that goes into all of the organizing, all the events, whether it's one day or 3 days. It takes a lot, and not everybody understands what it really takes. Hopefully, we do have more volunteers, even if it's just to learn, to having the experience to volunteer, seeing it from the inside versus from the outside. But, yes.
So just wanted to
Can you come up to the mic, please?
So just wanted to add that, keep in mind that and I'm not saying you're not going to do it in the future, whatever, because I was looking into a drone show as well in the past, but if you don't do anything for 4th of July fireworks, people are going to buy the illegal ones, so you're going to have a lot more. So whether you do a city event, 1 day, whatever, no matter how many days, there's going to be fireworks, and people are going to experience it, and what you were talking about with PTSD and so on. Animals too. You know, my dog was afraid of fireworks as well. So just want to add that if the city doesn't have one, people are going to buy more illegal than normal.
Thank you. Is there any additional citizen comments in the chamber? Anyone on the phone? Closing the citizen comments again at 8:17. Bringing it back to the dais. Council, questions, comments, motions, recommendations, checks for donation?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We could do the 3-day, providing we can get to Carnival, because that's the key to it. If you can't get to Carnival, you can't do the 3-day. So I think that we start there, and that would be my motion, that we go for the 3 days, providing we can get to Carnival, because that makes a lot of money and helps break it even.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, but with the understanding that we don't have Carnival, none of this process has started, which normally takes much longer than 4 months, but.
Right, well, we should be able to find out if the Carnival's available by next week or our next meeting. We should, or even have a special meeting. I mean, all it's got to do is Jackie make a phone call, or our help back there going to make a phone call. They're either available or they're not. And that gives us something we don't know now.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If we're basing this on if the Carnival's available or not, would it hurt anything to bring this back until we have that information? Or are we going to be pushing against the timeline here?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I think either way, I don't think I would be supportive for a 3-day event, either now or in 2 weeks. I don't think I would be supportive of a 3-day event.
Mr. Mayor, would like to make 2 comments, one related to the Mayor Pro Tem's question, one related to Mr. Wallace's recommendation. Last year, it was suggested that we bring this item back in September. We did not. We're now in January, and so something to consider timeline-wise. We're already behind. The longer we push this forward, the more time we lose. Mr. Wallace, as it relates to the request for a 3-day carnival, I know in the staff report it's listed that if we go 3 days, we're doing that with the understanding that our rec department will not be able to take the lead on the planning for that. And so assuming we don't get sound volunteer coordination, are you comfortable moving forward with the paid event coordinator to do that? Because that is the recommended suggestion on how to proceed with that.
You
Yes, definitely.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
I will second that motion.
So we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Wallace and a second by Mayor Pro Tem. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Opal?
No.
Councilmember Wallace?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
No.
Motion failed by a vote of 2-2.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
because we had a motion, does that mean that the item is automatically concluded, or can we continue discussion with another potential motion?
I believe that we can have other motions.
Yes?
Consider,
Just,
yes.
just wanted to confirm that. Council, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Wallace, I do think that having a 3-day event would be the ideal scenario, if we could find a way to work that out. I think just given the timeline of where we're at right now, we're already in late January. Even if the carnival can come, we're looking at really 6 months of planning. Hoping that a volunteer will take the lead, but if not, likely gonna have to bring back somebody paid and kind of leave it up to them. I just don't know if timeline-wise, that's gonna be the best bet at this point. That's why I'm more inclined towards a 1-day event, and I would ask that council consider moving forward in that direction tonight.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I will motion to move forward with the 1-day event for the 4th of July, which includes a fireworks show.
So we have a motion on the floor by Councilmember Paul, and I'll go ahead and second that. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace?
Yes, but I have one question. Who's going to coordinate it? That wasn't in your motion.
I did not include that, just given we don't know what our volunteer capacity is going to look like. It is stated there that if it's a 1-day, at least for the interim, the rec department can take the lead on the initial planning. But I do think that we should be aggressive about recruiting volunteers and continue to work with Jackie over the next couple weeks to see if we can build up that base a little bit. So I'll leave that vague for now at the discretion of the rec department.
I'll go yes on your motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we have item number 9, annual discussion on council appointments to boards. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, everyone. On council appointments to boards, commissions, and committees, give direction on whether council wants to keep current appointments. I did ask to have this item on the agenda for conversation. And normally it is, I guess, history in the past for the city of Livingston to do this every 2 years. A couple of things. One, there's a lot of other agencies, a lot of other cities that actually have this rotation at least brought to council once a year. And for consideration, and then also I had a conversation with one of the council members that potentially, they wanted to try and learn something different. If council, if we are okay with what we have right now, then that's fine. Then at least it's the opportunity to have those conversations. But those were the 2 reasons I wanted it to have council to have the conversation, because we cannot have this conversation off the dais. So we all have our different appointments to different, like I am appointed to Cal Cities, which I am the representative, MCAG, I'm the alternate, and then also I'm the a liaison to the Parks, Recs, and Arts Commission. I normally been able to attend all of those meetings except once. I wasn't able to attend one of the Parks and Recreation Commission. In the past, I had other opportunities to learn about some of the other different committees. But then again, this is just conversation for the rest of the council. If you guys are okay with keeping it the same, then that's fine. Let's move on or not. And so at this time, I will open it for the rest of the council.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm okay with the three I have.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you that some boards do call for annual reappointments. However, we've done this traditionally after each election because sometimes year isn't enough because there are projects that are coming forward, like that the current member is already aware of and is moving forward with it. And having a change in the mid kind of can cause a lot of things to break because we're not aware of it or they're not understanding the entire process. So I respectfully request that we leave everything as is.
Thank you. Anyone else? At this time, I will go out for public comment. Is there any public comment on the phone? At 8:26. Hearing none, coming back into the chamber, is there any public comment in the chamber in regards to this item? Seeing none, closing the citizen comments at 8:27, bringing it back to the dais. Council, any further discussion, questions, comments?
I'll second the Mayor Pro Tem's motion.
Was that a motion? So is there, is there any other question?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'm generally okay with where my committee standings currently are. I did want to flag one for the MIRWMA. I'm not going to read the whole committee name related to water. This is something that I was looking into early last year, just given that I never saw any meeting emails or anything of that sort pop up. So it looks like this is a water management plan that was created before Sigma, just getting after touch with MID. Technically, it still exists. It's still an existing agency with a budget that's almost minimal, but there are no standing meetings, and it's always canceled. So if you're wondering why you've never heard anything about that, that's what that is. I didn't know that when I asked for it, but that is what that one is. Other than that, I'm okay with my other appointments. Mr. Mayor, I would make the motion to, we do actually have a motion on the floor already, huh? So this may need to be a second motion to keep all committee assignments as they are, but swap both yourself and the Mayor Pro Temp as it relates to MCAG. So to appoint the mayor as the head representative and the Mayor Pro Temp as the alternate for that.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem to keep all the same, and a second by Mr. Wallace. And with that said, roll call, please. And
Roll call. Councilmember Opal?
No.
Councilmember Wallace?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
no.
Motion failed by the vote of 2-2.
So that motion failed by a 2-2 vote. So Mr. Wallet, Mr. Paul, you were entertaining a motion, and if I understood you correctly, was to keep all of the appointments the same except for MCAG?
that would be correct with the swapping of yourself and the mayor pro temp as alternate and main rep.
Okay. So I guess I have to accept or not, but, okay. So council, so we have a motion on the floor, but I will want to provide the opportunity to see if council has any questions or comments. Do I need to go out for public comment on this for a second motion? No, right? Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, I'm not sure what the reason is to switch MCAG from primary to alternate, but I just demonstrated my knowledge and my efficiency and everything and getting this thing through. That shows the capability, so I'm not sure why you would want to change that. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'll provide some quick comments. As it relates to that, I don't think that the mayor pro temp is unable to advocate for us strongly. That clearly took place just this week or this last week at the MCAG meeting. This is more related to absences that were taking place in the middle of towards the end of the year, where I'm of the understanding that there wasn't communication on absences that might have taken place, that you were not aware that you were supposed to attend, that there would be an absence and that Livingston had nobody at the meetings. And also there's items that we felt behind on for MCAG, namely being One Voice, where information was released several months ago on where we needed to be with that. We never heard anything back, and we were late in our submissions, as well as some of these most recent Measure V items. I know that you were the one that attended and advocated on behalf of the city in that morning meeting, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule to do that. But it's my understanding that Mr. Moran was doing a lot of the legwork behind the scenes, coordinating with both city staff and MCAG staff on that. And so it's largely for those two reasons that I'm moving to appoint him to be our MCAG rep if he decides that he wants to do that.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I missed a couple of meetings, but Mr. Opal is fully aware why I was not able to attend. He knows why I was not able to attend, and when you're dealing with things that I was going through, and he knows what it was because he attended my house to pay his respects, and then attend my mom's funeral, who was terminally ill. I was not able to attend for that reason, and I think that's really, really brutal of you to put that on me because of that. I've been a long advocate. I managed to put a lot of things through there, but at the end, you can make whatever motion you want. Thank you.
Mr. Ron, I would like to respond to that briefly. My comments are by no means related to those matters, stuff that we got going on in our personal lives, especially as it relates to family members, has nothing to do with the policy discussion or those. I'm referring specifically to meetings at the end of the year, just within the last 2 months, including November. I have the MCAG chart open in front of me, and more towards the fact that there was not communication taking place on the need for an alternate to attend. And so there is no intention of getting into any of those personal matters. It's strictly at a policy level, and I'd like to make that clear.
If I can add just a little additional context to this, and to be transparent, normally in the past, I think it has been the practice of everyone here to whether we are the representative or the alternate, and with the clear understanding that if I am the representative and I'm not able to attend, or I know that for some reason I'm not going to be able to attend, then normally we would, that's why we have an alternate, and to be able to communicate with the alternate to ask them to assist. I done that in the past a couple of times with some of my alternates when there's a chance that I might not be able to attend because I still want to be responsible. So maybe going back to those 4 different meetings that at MCAG that Livingston was absent. Also, and to be transparent, I didn't become aware of the absences until probably November and December. I believe he was present, if I remember correctly. But yes, MCAG, I mean, not that any other committees are not important, but going back and thinking of, and then again, I'm not sure because I never had the opportunity to be called upon to be the alternate and be present if we knew that we were not going to be able to make it. So, but probably that's also, and then not sure what the reasons of why I wasn't called to attend, to try at least make the effort to have representation. And probably MCAG is one of the most important agencies or committees that where Livingston is represented, that we need to make sure that we have attendance on. With that said, I'll accept to be the representative if approved by the majority. I'm okay with that, and then I'll take the responsibility to make sure that I do the best of to the best of my ability to make sure that Livingston is represented at MCAG. And then if for some reason, like in the past, we always were good at communicating. If I'm having a difficult time attending, then I will more than definitely make sure I communicate to the alternate to consider representing and representing the city of Livingston. So with that, is there any additional comments, questions on this item? So we do have a motion on the floor by Councilmember Paul. I'll go ahead and second that. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Councilmember Opal,
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
No.
Mayor Moran.
Yes.
Motion failed by a vote of 2-2.
Mr.
right.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I make a motion that we bring this item back, and hopefully at the next meeting, we'll have all 5 council members present? And leave everything as it is right now and just bring this
So your motion would be,
item back.
so your motion would be to continue this item?
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Wallace. Is there a second?
I will second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Opal,
I don't think the discussion is going to change much next time around, so no.
Councilmember Wallace,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra,
Yes.
Mayor Moran.
I think it would be interesting to hear how it might change or not, but I'll say yes to continue.
Motion approved by a vote of 3-1.
Thank you. So next we have announcements and reports. City Council members' announcements and reports. Mr. Wallace?
Thank you. I had a nice talk with our interim chief of police today. I just one of the items I wanted to know a little bit more about was the flock cameras. And after our talk, I know there's, the last 30 days, there has been no request for it. That was a good thing, so it means even though we have them, they're not being abused or someone taking advantage of them. I plan to attend the city council, not the city, the planning commission meeting. It was a little bit lengthy. I didn't think it would go that long, but it did. And I'll be attending this special meeting on the same subject again later this month. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Really just one item. I attended the City of Merced's update from the High Speed Rail Authority last week. The authority came down, Mr. Pacheco mentioned this, they spoke to the county board as well to provide an update on where they stand. They are suggesting that the city move their station from downtown to a location in Southeast Merced, and it's very relevant as it relates to us. As we know, ACE recently decided not to expand towards Merced, decided to go north, and if the city moves its location from downtown Merced to a location about 4 miles southeast, it's going to be an even longer trek that ACE would have to trek at whatever point they might decide to come down to get to that station.
Mr. Samra?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Just a couple of things. I was able to, about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks, we had a meeting with 99 Cycling, which is a local nonprofit organization, and they were founded about 4 years ago. And what they do is just a group of folks that go out and cycle bicycles, you know, around Livingston, around the community. And for Thanksgiving, they do what they call the turkey run. So they invite people, other cyclists from the area to come and meet with them, and then they leave Livingston and they go to, what's the park over there by Hillmar? Yeah. And then they come back around, and then I receive them. I wait for them at the city, at the entrance of the city. Then I ride with them, or I drive. You know, they ride. I don't ride. So we drive towards Max Foster, and then and a couple of weeks ago we had a meeting with staff and recreation, Mr. Ramirez and PD, and planning for an event, a cycling event, and they call it the bike rodeo. And then so I think that was the initial conversation, and so looking forward to for them to put this event together in partnership with the city. It's going to be around the first week of May. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be bicycles that are going to be given out to kids that are in attendance and participating, bike helmets and stuff, and a lot of information about it, and just a lot of different activities. So I'm really excited about that event coming up in the first week of May. I also attended the Martin Luther King Jr. parade, or actually it wasn't a parade, it was a walk in the city of Merced, walking from Amtrak downtown towards or to the theater. And it was great to see a lot of people. I think this was one I've been attending for some years, and this was probably the 1 year where I seen probably one of the biggest attendance. It was and I also attended the meeting at the city of Merced in regards to the train, and it was very interesting. If anybody is interested in watching that meeting, you can go to YouTube, and it's available. And also the Board of Supervisors had a similar meeting, a similar conversation as well. And I believe that's it at this time. Next, we have council direction on future agenda items. Council, anything at this time?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to request on our next agenda, if possible, to bring item regarding how city councils can put items on the agenda, how they're approved or not approved or dismissed. I know we have kind of unspoken rules or whatever, but this would be a good idea for the council to have full discussion so everybody's clear how this is done.
I'll second that, just for staff notes. All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I don't want to pick on CAL FIRE a lot because we might regret it, but one quick question. Why is your flag at half-mast and nobody else is in the city?
One of our employees died in line of duty death. I think it was New Year's Eve this year. Today was the day that we buried him. Flags will be coming back down. We buried him today at 1 o'clock. It was this memorial down in Riverside County.
Mr. Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samara, I understand your request is to bring an item regarding how matters are agendized. Having discussed this issue with staff, we would require 4 weeks to evaluate this request. Would you be okay to bring it back at that time?
I will be more than willing to change it to whatever it can take the staff to prepare something.
The next available date then is acceptable to you?
Next available date is acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, council, anything else? Seeing none, regular meeting adjourned at 8:47, but we're heading back into closed session, and then we'll be back to report out from closed session. Regular meeting adjourned at 8:48.